In a galaxy far, far away, there lives a group of anthropomorphic animals that fight in order to bring peace to the universe, and they do it one on-rails planet at a time. This gang of creatures is led by none other than Fox McCloud. We're covering his development, lore, and legacy in this week's Hero Unlocked. Fuel up those R-Wings, you'll need it for all the barrel rolls. Starfox as a franchise is quite the interesting story. The franchise, as we know it, owes its legacy to a little chip. And no, I'm not talking about Pringles. I'm talking about the Super FX chip. That's a bit of computer humor for you. If you haven't been living under a rock for the past 2.5 decades, then you know about the SNES. The Super FX chip was a graphics accelerator that allowed for 3D polygons to be displayed on the 16-bit console at a tolerable frame rate. Designed by Shigeru Miyamoto and Katsuya Iguchi, Starfox looked to take advantage of this new level of graphical power. Miyamoto sought to create characters for the series that were animals because he simply wasn't interested in making a sci-fi game with humans. When picking an animal to lead the series, he decided to go with a fox because of a shrine that was situated near Nintendo. This shrine, by the name of Fushimi Nari Taisha, is home to many statues of foxes. These foxes are often called the messengers, and thus we got Fox McCloud. In addition to the shrine, Takaya Imamura, the game's character designer, used Japanese folklore in order to come up with some of Fox's crew members. This is where we got Falco and Peppy. And for the three of you out there on the planet who actually care about Slippy, his inspiration came from a staff member who used a toad as a mascot for himself. What's more, the phrase fighting like dogs and monkeys in Japanese culture was the inspiration for the Cornerian army being made up of dogs, and the villainous army being made up of monkeys. Star Fox 2 was officially released in 2017, however the long time between the two games was not due to any sordid reasoning. According to the lead programmer of Star Fox 2, Dylan Cuthbert, the game was cancelled because Nintendo 64 was right around the corner. Nintendo and Shigeru Miyamoto wanted there to be a clean distinction between the 3D games on the new console and the old one. Speaking of the Nintendo 64, the series made the jump to full 3D polygons in 1997. Utilizing elements from Star Fox 2 such as all-range mode and multiplayer mode, the game aimed to recreate the events of the first game. The game did still remain on rails for most of the experience, so this was not the jump in progress that we had seen from Super Mario 64. No, that honor would be saved for Star Fox Adventures. This game is a classic example of overcorrection. Star Fox Adventures hit the Nintendo Gamecube in September of 2002. The game was a reworking of a project by Rare. This project was initially called Dinosaur Planet. Miyamoto noticed that the protagonist for Dinosaur Planet bared similarities to Fox McCloud, so Nintendo and Miyamoto pitched the idea and Star Fox Adventures was born. The game itself received mixed to positive reviews, and this was for rather understandable reasons. The primary issues between the mixed reactions were centered around the idea that the game didn't really commit to any one genre. The game was part Legend of Zelda and part Star Fox, and it never really succeeded at either one. After this game, however, Rare was later bought by Microsoft, leaving this as their last game made under Nintendo. Next up in 2005, Star Fox Assault hit the Nintendo Gamecube and was developed by Namco. This game took on a more arcade-based fashion and allowed the player to traverse the game in an R-Wing, Landmaster, or on foot. This game fulfilled most of what made a Star Fox game what a Star Fox game is. The main problem, however, seemed to linger around the on-foot sections. It seemed as though the controls for this section were a main point of contention. A year later, Star Fox hit the Nintendo DS in the form of Starfox Command. This game utilized two types of single-player gameplay. The first type was an overworld-type map in which the player controlled different ships in order to prevent the villains from reaching the Great Fox. And the battle mode is basically all-range mode. This means there are no rails in this version. A nifty little feature of this game allowed players to record their own voices and create Star Fox gibberish through the use of the DS microphone. The last mainline title we received was in 2016 under the name of Star Fox Zero. Developed by Nintendo and Platinum Games, this game saw its way onto the Nintendo Wii U. And yeah, it's like, okay, yeah. This game made a lot of use of the Wii U gamepad. What's more, gyroscopic aiming was also utilized in this manner. And it didn't work too well, at least when you first tried it. It was something you definitely had to get used to. Story-wise, the game just retold the events of Star Fox 1. This makes it the second game to retell the tale of the first one.
So, I don't know if anyone does quality checks on Nintendo anymore. How hard is it to accurately name animals?
What on earth are you talking about?
So, Peppy Hare is actually a rabbit and Slippy Toad is a freaking frog.
You know, now that you mention it, I don't think General Pepper is a vegetable.
Why? Why are you like this?
Not everyone knows this, but the team's name, Starfox, isn't in relation to Fox McCloud directly. This team was actually founded by Fox's father, James. However, when betrayed by then Starfox member Pigma Dengar, James died at the hands of Andros, the series antagonist. Pigma led James's team into a trap set to destroy them. Peppy was the only survivor of this attack. Being the only surviving member of Starfox, Peppy naturally gravitated toward James's son, Fox. Peppy managed to convince Fox that this was the way to go. Fox then recruited Falco Lombardi and Slippy Toad, and thus the new Starfox team was created. Being a group of mercenaries and not necessarily members of any particular army, the team would take on missions for cold hard cash. The caveat being that these missions would follow some sort of moral code. Hey, everybody has limits. The first game's events transpire as pretty par for the course. The team goes from planet to planet, reaches the boss, and kills him. But rather than coming up with a new villain, they decide that Andros isn't going to stay dead. This is where Starfox 2 comes into play. In Starfox 2, Andros returns and is now going straight buck wild all over the Lilat system. He captures several planets and turns them into factories for building weapons of war. General Pepper finally decides to contact the Starfox team in order to stop this advancement. In this game, there are 2 new members of the Starfox team in Miyu and Faye. Just as quickly as they came, they were gone. Just like that. After Andros' defeat, we are thrust into the events of Starfox Adventures, if we're going chronologically. And that's a big if, because the Starfox timeline and canon are a bit odd, but we'll get to that a little later. In Starfox Adventures, Fox and his team accept a mission to basically fix a civil war that is going on Dinosaur Planet. They jumped at this opportunity because at the time, their ship, the Great Fox, was pretty darn messed up and in need of repairs. But before Fox could land and take care of the issue on the planet, he was told to leave his blaster behind. Now, the game would have you believe that this is to preserve some sort of humanitarian mission, but it's believed that someone along the way just didn't want gunplay in this title. In an attempt to revive himself, Andros wanted to utilize the Krazoa spirits, a group of supernatural entities that reside on the planet. While in a spirit-like form, he captured a character by the name of Crystal and waited for someone who was pure of heart to release the last of the Krazoa spirits for him. After doing so, big ol' monkey face comes back, he, Fox, and Falco duke it out, and the Starfox team turns out on top. After the events of Starfox Assault, we hit Command, and yeah, this is the one with the multiple endings. Some of them have simple endings like Fox and Crystal getting married and the children of the classic Starfox team forming a new Starfox team. Others are really strange, like the one in which Falco convinces Fox to turn their R-Wings into race cars and give up space stuff. And that's why you can't really depend on the Starfox canon.
Hey, knock knock. Do barrel roll!
Starfox critically has been a bit of a mixed bag. A game by the name of Starlink Battle for Atlas has recently released with the Starfox team appearing on the Nintendo Switch version of the game. And this has been pretty much all we've seen or heard about the franchise since the release of Zero. There have been rumors about another Starfox game currently under development by Retro Studios, but that's about it. The franchise, however, continues to show what a powerhouse Fox and his crew can be. I think in capable hands this franchise can do whatever it really needs to. While I know that the audience for space-based aerial combat isn't what it used to be, I believe that with enough care, something really special can be done with it. Fox is more than just a protagonist that Nintendo likes to pull out every once in a while. He and his franchise are proof that niches aren't a death sentence. You never know who's going to fall in love with your IP. And having the faith to lend out your IP to another developer can actually breed a new, deep fan base. We've seen it done with Mario plus Rabbids, and I have a feeling that we're going to see something like this from Fox McCloud again. Stay perfect.
So guys, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit like and comment down below.
Also, don't forget to subscribe. We do videos just like this every week.
Stay perfect.